Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Dallas Cowboys win against Washington was their biggest as an underdog in over 14 years. The Dallas Cowboys won on Sunday. You obviously, I would assume, know that. I'd also assume that you yourself assumed that the Cowboys had no chance at winning on the road against the Washington Commanders. Why would you have thought that they would, though? Even the most optimistic Cowboys fan has been down on the team this year. Removing fandom though, oddsmakers thought that Dallas had no chance in this game. Obviously things depend a bit on which sportsbook you looked at, but for the most part the Cowboys were regarded as double-digit point underdogs. ESPN's Todd Archer pointed out after the game that Dallas closed as a 10.5-point underdog over at ESPN BET. Given that Dallas wound up winning, this was their first victory as an underdog of at least that variety since Week 10 of the 2010 season, when they also won on the road against a division rival. That day it was the New York Giants. You will recall that the game in question served as the "you have to hire Jason Garrett" as the full-time head coach for many. Obviously that was a long time ago. For what it is worth, it is not necessarily often and certainly not a good thing for any team to be considered a double-digit point underdog, so it's not like Dallas was 0-100 in such games or anything. Still though, it is cool to know that the Cowboys took care of business when no one thought that they could and that they seriously upset a division rival in the process. Austin Seibert identifies real culprit behind painful blunder versus Cowboys. Washington Commanders kicker Austin Seibert has experienced better days than the one he had on Sunday, following their tough 34-26 loss to the Dallas Cowboys in Week 12. The Commanders found a glimmer of hope late in the fourth quarter, scoring a touchdown with under a minute left to cut the Cowboys' lead to 1. However, Austin Seibert missed the extra point after a poor snap and hurried hold. To make matters worse, Dallas recovered the onside kick and returned it for a touchdown, sealing a heartbreaking defeat for Washington at Northwest Stadium on Sunday. When a reporter asked Seibert about the low snap, offering him an opportunity to share some of the blame, he quickly dismissed the notion, saying, "The snap didn't make a difference at all. It's on me." Washington tried an onside kick, but it bounced straight to Wanya Thomas, who found a gap in the Commanders' line and returned it 43 yards for a touchdown. The score effectively crushed any chance of a late comeback for Washington. Seibert had a similar response when discussing the failed onside kick. "I should have hit it a little bit more left," remarked Seibert. "Hit it right to the guy. That's what you get when that happens. So that falls on me too." Washington Commanders kicker Austin Seibert on the missed extra point at the end, "It's on me." The 28-year-old, fresh off an injury, struggled throughout the game, missing another extra point and a field goal along with the crucial PAT. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels linked up with wide receiver Terry McLaurin for an 86-yard touchdown pass with just 21 seconds remaining, giving Seibert a seemingly straightforward extra point attempt. The Cowboys' victory ended a 5-game skid and surprised many analysts who had anticipated the Commanders, in pursuit of the NFC East lead, to secure their 8th win of the season. The game had already been an unusual affair for both the Cowboys and Commanders, with the teams combining for just 19 points over the first 3 quarters. The Commanders, now on a 3-game losing streak, fell to 7-5 with the defeat and can't afford to gamble on Seibert regaining his confidence after missing 2 PATs against the Cowboys. Related Washington Commanders news: Commanders Jaden Daniels and Dan Quinn share similar message after Cowboys stunner Washington believed they had secured their kicker for 2024 when they signed Brandon McManus to a 1-year, $3.6 million contract in March. The plan to have McManus as their kicker quickly unraveled a few months later when he was accused of sexually assaulting 2 flight attendants during a team flight with the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2023. Though the lawsuit was dismissed and the NFL found no evidence of misconduct on McManus' part, the Commanders released him shortly after the allegations surfaced. The Commander signed Seibert on September 10, and he entered the game against the Cowboys having made 25 of 27 field goal attempts and a perfect 10 of 10 on PATs. The other kicking option available to them is Zane Gonzalez, who is 3-for-3 on field goals and 4-for-4 on PATs for the Commanders over 2 games in 2024. The Commanders are Seibert's 5th team in 6 seasons, and his issues with PATs aren't a new development. He converted only 30 of 35 PAT attempts as a rookie in 2019 with the Cleveland Browns. Cowboys' Jerry Jones offers possible hint on whether he'd hire Deion Sanders to be his next head coach. With Mike McCarthy in the final year of his contract and the Dallas Cowboys struggling this season, there's a good chance that the team will soon be in the market for a new head coach, and if that happens, one name that keeps coming up is Deion Sanders. The Pro Football Hall of Famer spent 5 seasons in Dallas and won a Super Bowl with the Cowboys in 1995. Michael Irvin has been pushing hard for Jerry Jones to go after Sanders, but based on some recent comments, it's starting to seem like the Cowboys owner might not be interested in hiring the Colorado coach. During an interview with 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, Jones was asked about Deion's potential as an NFL coach, and the Cowboys owner pointed out that Deion's best talents seem to translate better to being a college coach. One of his greatest skills, that he really brings to college, is that he almost has no peer as far as being a recruiter, Jones said. Kids want to come play for him and he has a way of selling that. That is one skill, that recruiting skill, that is not a huge prerequisite for NFL coaches. One of his greatest values is in that area of putting the team together in the sense of getting great talent to come play for him there at Colorado. All of that would go into your mind. With McCarthy still on the job, Jones wasn't going to come out and "I want to hire Deion right now," but he could have pointed out reasons why Sanders might make a successful NFL coach. Instead, he pointed out why it makes sense for Deion to stay in college. And Jones isn't so sure that Deion will even want to leave Colorado. "I think we're way ahead of ourselves relative to when and if he decides to go into coaching in the NFL," Jones said. In a recent interview, Sanders said that he's happy at Colorado. "I'm happy where I am, I'm good. I got a kickstand down," Sanders said. "I'm rested, I'm good, I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm enthusiastic about where I am. I love it here. I truly do." Sanders' comments came just days before his Buffaloes were upset 37-21 by Kansas on Saturday in a loss that all but knocked them out of the college football playoff race. Although Sanders to Dallas seems like a long shot at this point, Irvin did point out earlier this week that Deion might be interested in the job if his son, Shadur, ended up getting drafted by the Cowboys. Considering the Cowboys already have Dak Prescott, this seems like an unlikely scenario, but crazier things have happened in the NFL. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Deion Sanders? Leave your opinion in the comments.